Hi, this is Bob Iaccino coming to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago, talking treasuries, treasury futures, mainly the June 10-year note future. We had a yield breakdown today. It started yesterday and continued into today, reaching a low yield today of 2.23 on the 10-year note. Now that is a breakdown and that is a post-election low. We had a rally up into higher yields above that 2.24 area, which is where we essentially settled, 2.246%. That's 126 on the futures, up about 17 ticks. That yield breakdown is a post-election low. The yields popped up after the Trump election in anticipation of the usual fiscal policy, economic expansion, the Fed needing to raise rates. But it's been pretty weak over the last couple of sessions and really kind of accelerated now with this excess geopolitical risk, which we'll get to in a second. We also had confidence data today in the U.S. We had the University of Michigan's consumer confidence data. Now this jumped up to 98 from an expectation of 96.8. Now this 98 figure is the highest, again, since January, which is post-election height. As you started to hear more and more, it's actually post-inauguration height. So this confidence data definitely should have spiked yields a little bit more, but it did not in the face of all the geopolitics that the Treasury notes are having to take into account. Again, it's calm right now, but it is not getting better in the geopolitical theater. We had Japan's Prime Minister Abe talk about not nuclear weapons out of Korea, I'm sorry, but a missile coming from North Korea that could be filled with sarin gas. It hasn't been launched and it hasn't been warned or anticipated, but he said that would be likely, clearly trying to sort of ramp up the rhetoric in the region to get China to put pressure on North Korea, and more than that, to get the U.S. to put more pressure on China to avoid a trade war by putting pressure on North Korea, denuclearizing North Korea, and potentially even slowing down their military altogether. There are 150,000 troops amassed on the North Korean border. We had the meeting with Tillerson and Rex Tillerson and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov yesterday. They had nothing in common at all. They came to no agreements, at least that were announced. And even so, Sergei Lavrov said that he wanted an independent investigation out of The Hague. And then within hours, Russia vetoed a resolution condemning the gas attacks in Syria and basically shutting down at least the proposed investigation that was in that particular UN resolution. So that isn't getting any better either. And then today you saw yields back up even more. They were starting to rise a little bit, and then you saw yields back up even more as the US dropped their biggest conventional bomb, non-nuclear bomb in their history, the equivalent of 11,000 tons of explosives. In an area of Afghanistan near the Pakistan border. So again, the geopolitical tension taking over here, as it is in gold, as it is in the dollar. Some comments out of the White House can change the flow a little bit, but not much, because the comments tend to go hand in hand with what these particular commodities and futures are doing. This is Bob Iaccino talking 10-year note futures from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.